Hey everybody, we're going to talk about banks, money, bail-ins, limits at your bank possibly coming. It's already happening in California, according to the Economic Ninja. A good friend of his is experiencing that. If anybody else is experiencing that, let me know. I know every time we go to pull out money, just about of any amount, they want to know where it's going, like it's any of their business. But I'm sure they're just doing, what they're asked to do. We're going to get into some solutions, and we've actually got a happy story to tell.
Yes, absolutely. Actually, I got a couple. One, check out our hashtag.
Yep.
SilverInMyStocking. A couple guys, you just did that today.
Yeah, put that in the comment section if you don't mind. That's a really cool thing that you could pay $19.49 for a piece of silver and give that to your grandkids or your
plus
kids.
A little premium. But yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, there's always the premium, but it fluctuates.
Yeah, so that was really cool. Second story, and I have permission from the subscriber to say this because I asked his permission, was there's a really awesome gentleman that watches us, an older gentleman, and he ordered 2 ounces of silver. Because the guy was asking me that called today, he said, is there a minimum? I said, nope. Matter of fact is, a gentleman, he just ordered 2 ounces and we got it shipped to his door. He said, tell that gentleman I'm going to order 10 just for him and get it shipped to his door. So he did that today. And I asked him, did he mind me sharing? He said, absolutely not. He goes, that's what we need more in this world is good stories, good information. And he said, pay it forward.
People paying it forward.
That
is so cool. That really, just kind of makes you smile, on the inside. Because when we visit with you guys in the comments and on the phone, she talks a lot to a lot of people on the phone. It really, like you said before, it gives you faith in humanity again.
The little gentleman, I called and told him that it was coming and prepare, and he'd just gotten off his lawnmower and he nearly cried. So anyway, so to the subscriber that bought the 10 ounces, thank you.
Good job, man. That's really cool.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into it a little bit. So you briefly touched on the fact that the Economic Ninja came out with a video, and someone he very closely knows went to the bank, and they said no more than $5,000 and could not pull out more than so much per month. So that got me thinking.
Mm-hmm.
So we have 3 banks that we bank with. One is a really small local bank, one is a credit union, one's a bigger bank. So I call because I have contacts at all 3. Mm-hmm. You want to jump in?
No, that's a good tip.
Yes, all right, let's
spread them out.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yep.
We only keep enough money in these banks to pay bills and have a little cushion. We store our wealth in other places, you know where, but or what in anyway.
Right.
But that's a tip. Spread it out. Don't put it all in one place. And that goes for even your crypto wallets. If you've got maybe have 2 different ones, spread those things out because this is gonna. These bank bail-ins will probably happen in our lifetime sooner than later, probably. But keep going. I hate to interrupt you.
No, that was awesome. That is a solution. So right in the middle of this, there's one solution.
Yeah.
And so I started calling these banks. Here's another tip and a solution. Every bank that you do business with, that you have a checking account, a loan, any kind of thing, make friends with somebody that works there. Have a cell phone that you can reach out. When they walk in, some of those people need to know your name. I cannot emphasize he doesn't get to go in as much. I think one of the banks, they know you pretty well. He doesn't get to go in as much as me. But I don't go through the drive-thru. I personally walk in, I talk to these people, I ask their names, I ask about them, I let them get to know me. So, because used to before, I would walk in and they would do like that guy. They would want to know why you're pulling this money out. What are you doing with it? Now, not even a problem. I have not had them ask me in probably 2 years what I was pulling money out.
I don't have a relationship with the inside of the bank, but with the vice president, we're on a first name basis.
Well, it's because I mainly do.
Yeah. You handle that, but when it comes to making bigger purchases, I usually talk to the vice president first.
Right.
And that's a solution right now. Create a relationship. You're going to need to do that anyway. If you're wanting to get into rental properties, which I hope everybody is, one day, and all this goes out the window if we really do get in the Thunderdome for a little while. But there's going to be opportunity in the future to own property and rent it to people. And one of the very good ways to do that is to use other people's money.
Yes.
And if you've got a good relationship with a banker, he'll kind of help you and walk you through, because the dynamics change
Yes.
in the banking system, and they can kind of help you along, and you can have that relationship. So go ahead and get it now. If you don't have it now, get it.
That
Get
is
it
a
up.
definitely good solution. So I called all 3 of mine today and I asked them 3 questions. I said, do you have an amount limit on what I can withdraw? All 3 of them said no. They said, do I have a limit on withdrawal per month or week? As of now, no. I asked, do you charge for withdrawals? As of now, no. But I remember going to them remember it came out in Congress that they were going to start reporting everything, the banks that was 600 or more per transaction. I went to these banks, same banks. I asked them, had they heard about that then? No one knew about it. And we obviously all were talking about it. So if it's happening in California, it very well could come to your town. So be proactive.
Usually we teach the banks about what's fixing to happen. When I talk to these, vice president stuff, I'm the one that's trying to tell them about CBDCs and cryptocurrencies, and they act like they had no clue. They were just clueless. I don't know how that can be, but they very well might not know. Just I don't know anything about that, or maybe they're told to say that. I'm not sure, but odds are most people watching us right now have got a better idea of what's coming in the future than the bankers
Could be.
or the mom and pop.
Could be. And the fact that we're talking about bail-ins and runs and all that kind of stuff. The fact that people are like, oh, that'll never happen. You guys look just at all the ones that have happened that I could find. Well, a few of them I found today. There's probably a lot more that just happened just in 2022. I was telling Chris, we just talked about Lebanon the other day. Argentina, apparently, a few weeks is just having a run on the banks like $1 billion worth. You got China, you got Canada, you got Russia. Russia's really struggling right now.
When Canada did that, when they, the
Froze
people
their
that
accounts.
gave to the Freedom Convoy, and they froze their accounts, and they're actively hunting those people down, from what I understand. There's still repercussions. That's not over and done with yet. If anybody from Canada's watching knows some more about that, put it in the comments. The last I checked, it wasn't very nice.
Yeah.
But that is what they're going to be able to do to our money, and it seems to me like making these transactions smaller, all you can get out in a month, they're trying to limit cash. They're trying to restrain it. A lot like they're going to do ammo. They're going to, you can only get so much. Or make the primers where they expire. Or the penalty if you have, they'll make it harder and harder to get to. And that's, it makes it more convenient to just use a CBDC.
Right.
You don't have to mess with all that.
That's right.
But then they can track you.
Yes.
Remember, you will not be able to buy and sell without the mark. And how are they going to know if you have the mark or not?
Well, we'll see.
In your right hand or your forehead, supposedly. Your phone goes in your right hand. I don't know. Nobody knows for sure, but what we know is that will happen 100% for sure, without a shadow of a doubt. And we're getting closer and closer every day.
Yep. So we just keep muddling through this and looking for solutions as we go along.
Yep.
Just don't stick your head in the sand. But here's a couple interesting stats that I thought was interesting. That so if we have a lot of overseas debt, and they said if everyone came right now and said, "I want our debt paid," there would be $1 for every $1,000 owed.
$1 available?
Yes. And if we all went to our banks right now, apparently the money that's available, and said, give us money, we would only be able to get $230 each for each resident. That's how. So when they say there's not a lot of money in the banks, they don't keep a lot of money in the banks.
Yeah,
We've proved that. I went one time, was trying to get some money out, did not call ahead, which I usually try to do, and they were literally giving me 20s and 10s at the end just to try to
they
get.
don't keep that much.
to roll.
And I was thinking earlier as we were going over some of our notes, fractional reserve banking is pretty much a guarantee there's going to be some major issues in the future. The system is set up to fail, and it looks like it's going to be in our lifetime. And I'm talking early in our lifetime. So solution would be don't have more money in the bank than you're willing to lose. I know
True.
that's crazy, and it sounds like a complete, because it's never happened in our lifetime.
No.
What happened in Cyprus? That was kind of an eye-opening thing. But what would be the harm? And I had this talk with Alaska Prepper too. we talked, and we were talking about the banks and what's going on, and just if you can buy hard assets, because like we talked about yesterday, when the Fed pivots and they turn on the money printer and lower interest rates, whatever they do, whichever way they decide to go, they're going to devalue the dollar more, and your hard assets will retain that value. And if anybody wants or is interested in precious metals, Stacey sells it for Miles Franklin. That's her number on the board. And those are pretty close to the accurate prices. And you can take another route. If you can go to the coin shop. It doesn't matter to me. You can buy barrels of oil or other commodities to try to hedge, your wealth. But just know it's in the mail, and this is all proof that it's on the way.
Not just one more little thing, just paying attention
Every
to.
day, it's one more thing with money. It's all has to do with money, banks, all these.
I want to get into the banks next. Before I do, though, it's kind of a joke. If you really look up the FDIC and you see the $250,000 supposedly what it will cover you, there are so many loopholes in that $250,000. One of the bankers was telling me one day, she was like, good luck. You're not going to probably get reimbursed. But anyway, let's just move on. The banks right now, though, talking about how things are tightening, what's going on in the markets. We'll all know that, the interest rates are possibly going to go up tomorrow. The mortgage portion of the banks are laying off people. And it's kind of a story that wasn't really talked a whole lot about, but I started doing some digging and ran some numbers and looked at some stats. Just in 2022, just in these last few months in 2022, that I can find, it was over 14,600 that would disclose. There were about 30 banks that would not disclose how many people that they have laid off in the mortgage industry. And they're saying because of the nearly 30-year high, declining origination fees, refinance activity. And so I actually went and talked to one of our lenders, and she said it's getting really hard to get mortgage loans, either to get people in the door that can get financing, and the restrictions are tightening. And so these are people out of work now.
Yeah, if any of you have experienced this or work for the bank, and you've been laid off or you know somebody, put in the comments. I'm really curious to see what you guys say, not so much what the internet says.
Yeah.
This is very interesting. It seems like they can see the writing on the wall.
Yeah. No, I would like that. That would be awesome.
Why do you need people making mortgages when they're about to fall off a cliff?
They obviously know something's coming because they're letting these people go.
These people on the inside are bracing right now. They've been getting ready.
Yep. So in addition to that, the banks, as we know, the Federal Reserve is supposed to come out tomorrow, but the banks are also going to the Hill or to the U.S. Capitol, and they're going to have meetings with these committees. And they're kind of really nailing down on these banks because I did not realize how much they made in fees. Just last year, Citigroup made over $103 million in fees, such as overdrafts and just different things like that, checks that bounce. New York, a bank in New York, made $2.7 billion. Go ahead.
People are getting behind on their payments.
Well, J.P. Morgan has come out and they're offering deferred payments and forbearance on more than 2 million mortgages, auto and credit card accounts. And they've given back $250 million. That's how many people have messed up on their accounts, been late, overdrawn.
See, this is more evidence of the likelihood of a bail-in. Because the bank's job is to vet people and loan money to people that will pay it back. When the people don't pay it back, they'll have something like what happened in 2008. And the bank was bailed out by the government.
Yep.
Big Brother bailed them out. Too big to fail. You know the story. But now it looks more like a bail-in. It's on the books. It's completely legal. They can take your money and pay off their debts with it.
They can.
And it is amazing how it's rolling out. It's like a slow-motion train wreck. So just watch it. Watch as things get worse and the bank starts holding out on giving people money. Because who's to say? Because a 50% move in any direction, interest rates, they could go up 50% from here, no problem. What if they said, no, you can't have 5,000, you can only have 2,500?
Or what if they started limiting your amounts you could use for your debit card? I mean, there's no end to what could happen if they were to do, like you said, a bail-in. There's no end. So you have a possibilities, and you have some solutions. And so anyway, they're going to be meeting. I'm curious to see what the committee, what they're going to say what they're going to address. I hope some of it will be open so you can actually read the comments. But real quick, also, banks still one more time. So because of all this, because of the interest rates, because everything that's been going on in the economy, they, for some reason, this first part of the year, they just like were doing commercial loans like crazy. It was up like 172% from last year. But they have apparently given out so much money that they're like, whoa, with the economy the way it is, what's going on? They are like stopping. And so they're coming to kind of like a screeching halt. And they said banks including Wells Fargo, Bank of America, JP Morgan, Chase, and all that, they are pulling way back on financing for commercial real estate. So they said they're expecting it'll be probably a lot of empty buildings and different things like that on the commercial real estate.
It's the collapse. Commercial real estate got hit, and I really thought people would get out of it a little more than they have. But it looks like they're going to be forced out of it.
I don't know, but they're clamming up. He said they did so much in the first quarter. He said, or the first 2 quarters. He said they're having to slam on the brakes. Is what one of the guys said. So I don't know. We'll see what's going to happen. It's something to keep your eye on and pay attention to your money.
Absolutely. You've got some solutions. You've got some things you can do right now. If you need any help, if you need to make a financial statement, reach out to us. We'll give you the one we use. And that's the way you can calculate your net worth and on how much physical precious metals that you might think about holding. That's a good way to do it because we're only talking about 10 to 50%. Sometimes people, I'm not doing that. You'll lose all your money. We're not talking about putting all your money in anything. Nothing. Never put all your money in anything. But most of the time, those people don't have anything anyway. And they can't make that connection. They still worried about eating silver.
Can I say something? I want to say something right there. Okay, I agree with you. Some people don't. But those people I watch buy the most outrageous stuff.
Oh, yeah.
They spend money, not against Starbucks, but they spend money on these expensive drinks. And you could turn around and 2-3 of those drinks and you could buy a piece of silver. I don't get it. Sorry, I'll get off my rant.
As it's going down. No, I get it. People are consuming to live. And they're consuming expensive things.
But I hear that excuse. I don't have enough money. And I'm sitting there watching what they're buying, and I'm like,
I hear it all the time.
No.
Sure. You know,
anyway.
And they'll be singing the blues later. You know, it's okay. Easy choices, hard life.
That's true.
That's the way it goes. Have an awesome, awesome day, guys. Later.